कृताग्नि कृतवर्मा च कृतौजा दनकात्मजाः दुर्मदो भद्रसेनस्य दनका कृतवीर्यसूः कृताग्नि कृतवर्मा च कृतौजा दनकात्मजाः. दुर्मदः दुर्मद भद्रसेनस्य of Bhadrasena Danakaha Danaka Kritaviryasuhu giving birth to Kritavirya Kritagnihi by the name Kritagni Kritavarma Cha also Kritaujaha Kritauja Danaka Atmajaha sons of Dhanaka. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Vaicharana Aravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The sons of Bhadrasena were known as Durmada and Dhanaka. Dhanaka was the father of Kritavirya and also of Kritagni, Kritavarma and Kritauja. Can you repeat the translation? The sons of Bhadrasena were known as Durmada and Dhanaka. Dhanaka was the father of Kritavirya and also of Kritagni, Kritavarma and Kritauja. I missed the previous text. I'll just read the previous text, text 22. The son of Haihaya was Dharma, and the son of Dharma was Netra, the father of Kunti. From Kunti came a son named Sohanji. From Sohanji came Mahishman, and from Mahishman, Bhadrasenaka. Then continuation today's text. The sons of Bhadrasena were known as Durmada and Dhanaka. Dhanaka was the father of Kritavirya and also of Kritagni, Kritavarma, and Kritinja. I will read the following texts up to 31. The son of Kritavirya was Arjuna. He, Kartavirya Arjuna, became the emperor of the entire world, consisting of 7 islands, and received mystic power from Dattatreya, the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus he obtained the mystic perfections known as Ashtasiddhi. Text 25. No other king in this world could equal Kartavirya Arjuna in sacrifices, charity, austerity, mystic power, education, strength, or mercy. Text 26. For 85,000 years, Kartavirya Arjuna continuously enjoyed material opulences with full bodily strength and unimpaired memory. In other words, he enjoyed inexhaustible material opulences with his 6 senses. Text 27. Of the 1,000 sons of Kartavirya Arjuna, only 5 remained alive after the fight with Parashurama. Their names were Jayadvaja, Shurasena, Vrishabha, Madhu, and Urjita. Text 28. Jayadvaja had a son named Talajanga, who had 100 sons. All the Kshatriyas in that dynasty, known as Talajanga, were annihilated by the great power received by Maharaja Sagara from Aurva Text 29. Of the sons of Talajanga, Vitihotra was the eldest. The son of Vitihotra, named Madhu, had a celebrated son named Vrishni. Madhu had 100 sons, of whom Vrishni was the eldest. The dynasties known as Yadava, Madhava, and Vrishni had their origin from Yadu, Madhu, and Vrishni. Texts 30 and 31. O Maharaja Parikshit, because Yadu, Madhu, and Vrishni each inaugurated a dynasty, their dynasties are known as Yadava, Madhava, and Vrishni. The son of Yadu, named Kroshta, had a son named Vrijinavan. The son of Vrijinavan was Swahita. The son of Swahita, Vishadgu. The son of Vishadgu, Chitraratha. And the son of Chitraratha, Shashabindu. The greatly fortunate Shashabindu, who was a great mystic, possessed 14 opulences and was the owner of 14 great jewels. Thus he became the emperor of the world. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. In the Markandeya Purana, the 14 kinds of great jewels are described as follows. Number 1, an elephant. Number 2, a horse. 3, a chariot. 4, a wife. 5, arrows. 6, a reservoir of wealth. 7, a garland. 8, valuable costumes. 9, trees. 10, a spear. 11, a noose. 12, jewels. 13, an umbrella. And 14, regulative principles. To be the emperor, one must possess all 14 of these opulences. Shashabindu possessed them all. Thus ends the Bhaktivinoda purport and translations to Canto 9, Chapter 23, texts 22 to 31. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We see in the dynasty of Maharaja Yayati, many other noble kings take birth. And in today's discussion, beginning from the son of Hayahaya, Dharma, Netra, Kunti, etc., also came the famous Kartavirya Arjuna, who's supposed to be an incarnation of the, supposed to be a very powerful king who is supposed to have received mystic powers from Dattatreya. And Dattatreya is one of the incarnations of Vishnu. So one of the very powerful kings. Elsewhere, it is described that there are two famous Arjunas in the world. One is this Kartavirya Arjuna, the other is the Pandava Arjuna. Both are very famous. And about Kartavirya Arjuna, it is described here. No king in this world is equal to Kartavirya Arjuna, be it in sacrifices, be it in charity, be it in austerity, mystic power, education, strength, mercy, and all of these opulences he enjoyed for 85,000 years. That means this was the period of Satya Yuga. In Satya Yuga, people lived for about 1 lakh years. The lifespan of the people were 1 lakh years. That's how we see such huge length of time they have lived. 85,000 years he enjoyed all these opulences of, bodily strength, full bodily strength, sensory power. Old age did not disturb him. Generally, as we grow old, we become physically weak, mentally weak, the memory comes down. Generally, as you become old, your memory is very poor. You repeat the same thing many times. And the other person thinks, why is he repeating so many times? He's thinking, oh, did I repeat? 10 times you have repeated in 10 minutes. But he does not remember. But here it is said, unimpaired memory for 85,000 years. He enjoyed inexhaustible material opulences with his 6 senses. He had mystic powers. All Ashtasiddhi he had. Even today, for modern man, these things are very, very desirable. Mystic power is something which had always been attracting people, even to date. Most people are very much impressed by some magical presentations, magical feats. More so in spiritual life. People think spiritual life is a kind of some magic, and they consider a spiritual master means he does some kind of magic, must do some kind of magic, must walk on water on shore. Yeah, Krishna Balaram, must have a healing touch. Just glances at somebody, he should become all right. Cancer must be finished. So many people develop faith because of these mystical presentations by some person. Of course, to achieve real mystic power is also quite difficult. But there are preliminary mystic things which one can acquire. But one should follow some principles. One can acquire. It is not impossible. One can become smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest, heavier than the heaviest, lighter than the lightest. One can obtain whatever one desires. Anima, Laghima, Mahima. One can Ishita, Vashita, Ishita. One can acquire whatever one desires. Vashita. One can bring somebody else under the one's control. One can even create a planet. And sitting in one place, one can get whatever one wants from any part of the planet. Sitting here, like Prabhupada says, I want pomegranates is very special and very tasty in Kabul. So sitting here, I want pomegranates from Kabul. I can extend my hand and get the pomegranates, and I can eat or I can give it to you. My hand is this much only, but it can extend by Yoga Siddhi to Kabul. Nagpur oranges are very famous. So you want some oranges from Nagpur. Sitting in Mysore, you can extend your hand, go to somebody's garden, pluck some oranges and bring it. So people are bewildered by these things. Today people are bewildered even by producing little gold from here only. But the devotees of the Lord are not carried away by these mystic powers. These are, uh, as Prabhupada calls it, very childish. In fact, in Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami explains that some of the mystic powers which are explained in the scriptures are also to some extent attained by the modern scientists. They're able to fly in space. It's like you can become lighter and then you can fly. So they also invented some other means, may not be the same way, but the purpose is attained. Because if you become light only, you can fly in space. Otherwise, you cannot. The gravity pulls you down. So they've created aeroplane where they're able to fly in space. They have found out mine engineering. They can go deep inside the earth. They can dig a hole and go inside, deep boring. So a lot of things, even, they also are able to some degree, they have attained. So nothing great about this, acquiring this Ashtasiddhi. And it is all material. All the Ashtasiddhis are material, nothing spiritual. Many times people misunderstand, especially in the spiritual line, that they regard a person as greatly advanced spiritually because he has mystic powers. He is able to walk on water. And as I said, through some magical spell, he's able to cure some disease. There's nothing spiritual about these things. It's purely material. It does not indicate any spiritual advancement of the person by walking on water. According to Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, walking on water is a 2 paisa mystic power. That's all. Because to cross the Ganga in Mayapur, if you have to cross from one side of Navadvip to the other side, then there is a boat service, and those days it was about 2 paisa to cross Ganga. Today it's about maybe 5 rupees or 10 rupees, that's all. So any yogis who would come and then show their mystic power and then cheat the innocent public, he would say this is 2 paisa mystic power. And he has spent 15 years, 30 years, 50 years to acquire this siddhi. So Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj used to say, this is 2 paisa. He's wasted his life. So we should not think that by displaced mystic power somebody becomes spiritually advanced. Rather, spiritual advancement is known and recognized by purification, by gaining transcendental knowledge, by gaining wisdom, by becoming Krishna conscious. How much one is in knowledge of the self and the Supreme Lord and this creation. The dynamics of creation, the purpose of creation, the instructions of the Lord, instructions of the previous acharyas. How much one is absorbed in these instructions and is practicing these instructions determines one's spiritual advancement, not mystic powers. So we should not get carried away by mystic powers. How much one is strictly able to follow the Guru's instructions, that much he is spiritually advanced. Nothing superficial. The more one is committed to the order of Krishna and the spiritual master, actually he is spiritually advanced. Nonetheless, sometimes the pure devotees of the Lord do display mystic powers, although they are not bewildered or carried away by the mystic powers. One time Prabhupada said something very interesting. He said the pure devotee is not bothered to acquire mystic power. He is busy. He is busily engaged in rendering loving service to his beloved Lord Krishna. Pure devotees are busy rendering different kinds of services for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. They are not busy acquiring mystic power as the yogis are. He said, why should a pure devotee bother to acquire mystic power? If he wants, he will ask Krishna and Krishna will give him whatever he wants. It's a very simple job. Why should he acquire mystic power? Hope you got the point. Why should I, do meditation, austerity for hundreds of years, thousands of years to acquire mystic power, to become lighter so that I can fly in space, become heavier like Meru mountain? I don't have to become any of these things. I want something. hmm, I'll ask my Lord. Lord will give me. So simple. Just like if a father is a billionaire, multi-billionaire, why should I earn and go to office? If I want $1 billion, father, please transfer $1 billion to my account. I am on a trip. I'm on a world tour for the next 1 month. So he'll say, yes, my son. He'll tell his executive, please transfer to my son's account. Finished. To earn $1 billion, your prana is over. Your life is over, right? But he'll just ask his father, why should he be foolish to earn $1 billion? He'll just ask his father. It's a multi-billion-dollar owner. So he wants any of the Ashtasiddhi. Krishna provides simply. And Krishna has unlimited mystic power. The yogis may have limited mystic power, but Krishna is the source, the origin of all mystic powers. Krishna is called Yogeshwara. In the Bhagavad Gita, last verse of the Bhagavad Gita, Sanjaya declares Krishna as Yogeshwara, master of all mystic powers. And he has unlimited mystic power. So whatever the devotee wants, he will take it from the Lord. He doesn't work or earn, doesn't have to earn mystic power. All pure devotees, one more place Prabhupada said, all pure devotees of the Lord naturally have all mystic powers without practicing any yoga system. Krishna confers them, bestows them, gives them all mystical powers. The only question is, they may use, they may not use. That is their personal taste and choice. Some devotees, pure devotees use, some of them don't use. Nonetheless, it is dormant in them. Anytime they can evoke that mystic power if they want. But the pure devotee, as I said, is recognized by his words, his instructions, his personal life. That is the way you recognize a pure devotee. A pure devotee or an acharya is recognized not by seeing, but by knowing, by hearing actually, primarily by hearing. You recognize an acharya by hearing, not by seeing. It's a very important criteria. What he speaks is very important. He strictly speaks what is spoken in the parampara, spoken by the Supreme Lord, spoken by the previous acharyas. He never concocts anything, never introduces any new religious system, any new instruction, any new direction. No, he simply repeats the words of the previous acharyas and the Supreme Lord. This is the way you recognize a pure devotee. And he strictly follows them himself and teaches the same thing to his followers. So these are the ways to recognize a pure devotee of the Lord. So as I said, nonetheless, sometimes they do display mystic powers. Prabhupada also, if you see, by and large, you can know how he was so strict about these things. Even when his disciples one time asked Prabhupada, you said the pure devotees have mystic powers naturally. So, would you sometime like to walk in the water and show us? One devotee asked Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, yes, I can do that. But then I don't want to do, because if I do that, then you all will ask me, Prabhupada, please teach me how to do that. Instead of asking me, teach bhakti, how to serve Krishna, how to become a devotee of Krishna, you will not ask that. Therefore, I am not interested. So this is the concern of a pure devotee. These are all childish displays. Magic, Prabhupada says, is only attractive to a child, not to a grown-up person. And magic is more or less childish. Nothing great. One place Prabhupada said magic means, he defines magic. Magic means you don't know, I know. That's all. Once you know, it is not magic. But mystic powers are little different from magic also, because it's just not that. Yet it is childish. It's nothing great, nothing serious. Coming to the point of becoming a associate of the Lord, becoming a Dasa of the Lord, rendering opportunity to render personal service to the Lord is trillions and trillions of times more sublime and superior to mystic powers. We should know. So having said that, as I said, Prabhupada, by and large, he never expressly showed any mystic powers or talked about it much. But still, many times we have observed that he also displayed mystic powers. One time in this was a recollection by one devotee, a famous devotee in ISKCON, Prabhupada's disciple by name Purnamasi Mataji. So she was preaching in one of the communist countries decades back, 1960s, 70s. And because she was preaching very strongly, they had imprisoned her because communists' idea is different. So they will not allow any religious preaching to be spread in their country. So anybody does that, they can be imprisoned. So this Mataji was imprisoned, but somehow in the jail also she would continue to preach Krishna consciousness, continue to make her prison mates chant Hare Krishna, teach them Hare Krishna to the communists, make them chant and all these things. So then they did a lot of things to stop her from preaching, but somehow she would not stop. Finally, they tortured her in so many physical ways. They threatened to even kill her if she does not stop preaching, but she would not give in. Then they thought, the officers thought, okay, we have to do something. They decided to send an actual witch to do something to her physically, to deprogram her, actually. It's called deprogramming program. Means you forget everything. It's a psychiatric kind of, but a negative psychiatric treatment. Something like a black magic art, black arts. So, so this witch came with an assistant, and she started her spell, chanting some few things, doing all kinds of possibilities to cast some spell on her. And still this devotee was normal. Then they tried to send one dark creature into her body, one dark person into her body. And she could sense that somebody is entering her body, which is quite possible. And it was quite disturbing. She could feel the disturbance, and she could sense that she is slowly coming under the control of the dark creature. This Mataji is actually describing her personal experience. So then she started chanting some prayers. But still this dark creature looks to be quite powerful. And she started chanting the prayers intensely, chanting different mantras. Still it would not go. Then she started chanting her ultimate Brahmastra mantra. That time, this witch understood nothing is going to work. The dark creature also came out. So then this witch came out of the jail to the, the police officer's office. He said that, I'm sorry, I'm returning back. So, no, you can't return till you complete your task. Please go second round, third round. Still, nothing happened. And finally, she said, no, I'm giving up. I'm going away with my assistant. Then they said, what happened? Why? Why are you not able to influence her and deprogram her? She said, there is one old man standing and pointing fingers at me like this, warning me. So I am not able to take that warning. If I'm some more time, if I stand there, I think something will happen to me also. So like that. So then they didn't understand. She didn't understand. Now the officers understood who that old man is. And then she said, you people are not seeing. I am seeing one old man like this is doing to me. Like, then afterwards, this Mataji actually said, that old man was actually Srila Prabhupada. And first she chanted the Hare Krishna mantra, it didn't work. Of course, it's the Leela of the Lord anyway. She chanted Narsim mantra, still didn't work. Finally, her ultimate mantra she started, Namavam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shivate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine. Third mantra when she chanted, this witch got shaken up. She could not stand that power of this Prabhupada's Pranama mantra. Then her witchcraft ended. She gave up. So it's the power of the Prabhupada's Pranam mantra and this old man sitting in all the temples. So Prabhupada didn't do anything. His mantra itself is, just like we say, Krishna need not do. Krishna's mantra is enough. So like that. There's one instance. There was one more instance where, again, Prabhupada would not do it consciously, all these things. It just happens. See, consciously, the pure devotee will not use any mystic power. Unconsciously, all these things still happen. Imagine that if consciously, if he begins to use mystic power, it will shake the whole world. Yogis are no comparison in front of pure devotees, like Narada, any pure devotee. Jai Krishna Balaram bolte Prabhupada ki jai. Once, this was in Bombay. We all have heard of one very rich engineer in Bombay in those days, one S.L. Sethi. He is well known in Mumbai. Those days, 1960s and 70s. So this S.L. Sethi would offer his services. He was an engineer. So he would offer his services to the temple. And he would regularly come and supervise the construction of the temple and the guest house and all these buildings. And he would directly report to Prabhupada every day. I think I told this earlier. But the pastime is different today, what I'm going to narrate. So once he met with a car accident. And he had an injury, severe injury on the neck portion. You know, they have a brace here. One neck brace they wear. So that it stands steady and gives a support to the head. So he was, doctors advised him for the next 6 months you have to wear that neck brace. Next 6 months. So then he met Prabhupada. He said, Prabhupada, I just met with an accident and doctor suggested me. Prabhupada said, oh, no, please remove that. Please don't wear that. So, but Prabhupada, doctors advised me because just now I came out of the ward from the hospital, from the emergency ward and then from the general ward and just I'm wearing just recovering. Prabhupada said, no, you don't require. Please remove it. She was in a dilemma. The doctor is saying 6 months you have to wear. Prabhupada is saying you should not wear. To whom should I follow? Should I follow the doctor? Should I follow Prabhupada? This is a dilemma. Prabhupada said, no, you must remove it. No, you are all right. Just remove it. But he had more respect for Prabhupada, obviously, because S.L. Sethi was very great, very nice devotee. And he loved Prabhupada so much. So then he just removed it. And he was perfectly all right. So he smiled. Prabhupada also smiled. Can you imagine? Just came out of the operation theater. And Prabhupada said, no, you're all right. You just remove it. He's all right. Sometime later, this same S.L. Sethi, he got one telegram from his home actually. His home was in Sandigram. The telegram says, Father, very serious, please come immediately. The telegram headlines. So then he told Prabhupada, I have to go to my native, very soon come back. So Prabhupada said, what happened? You know, my father is very ill. He's very sick, very serious. I got it. So I have to go home. Prabhupada said, no, nothing to worry. Don't worry. He said, your father is all right. Then Sethi said, no, Prabhupada, I got a telegram. And he showed the telegram. I got a telegram. Father, very serious. Please come immediately. Prabhupada said, your father will come to receive you in the bus stand. Wait and see. Then he takes a train from Bombay and goes to at a certain point and then catches a bus and then goes to reaches Chandigram bus stand. His father is there in the bus stand to receive him. And then he says, Father, are you all right? Perfectly all right. So like that, there are so many things. One time when Prabhupada and his disciples, about five, six of them, they were on a train journey. In between, there was a stop in Vishakhapatnam, and the train stopped for some time there, and they all got down, and the devotees were doing kirtan in the railway station. It's very common. You see ISKCON devotees, whenever there's a stop, we do nice kirtana in the station. So they were all Westerners, do nice heavy kirtan they did, and they were quite tired and exhausted. So Prabhupada said to Shyamasundar Prabhu, one of Prabhupada's early disciples, so please get some tender coconut. I am also feeling thirsty. It was afternoon time, and Andhra, it's very hot. So the devotee nearby, there was a coconut tree in the railway station. She went there and then picked up one tender coconut, and came down. Good water it had. So then he gave to Prabhupada, and then Prabhupada drank the tender coconut, and quite some time, because it had real good water, quite some time he drank. Then so almost it was empty. You can see some drops trickling only. That means it's almost over. Then he gave to Shyam Sundar. You can drink, he said. And Shyam Sundar takes the dab, he drinks, and the water is still flowing like a tap of water. Maybe some last bit was remaining, probably, right? Prabhupada said, okay, the Kirtan singers look to be very tired and very thirsty. Please give them also. See, so Shyam Sundar gave to another Kirtan singer. He drank, he was drinking. And then he passed on to the another singer. All the 5, 6 singers, all of them drank, and still last drops are still coming. Probably one more Kirtan singer would have been that he also would have got. So about 8, 9 devotees drank from one tender coconut. And finally they smile. What is happening? So Prabhupada also smiled. So like that, the devotees of the Lord, they don't have to strain them. Krishna supplies everything to the devotees. Krishna is captured only by bhakti or loving devotional service. Not by display of mystical power. You may display mystic power, but you cannot attract Krishna's attention. Only by loving devotional service, Krishna is completely captivated. Bhakti. And that is represented by Srimati Radharani. Therefore, Radharani is the only devotee who can attract Krishna completely. In other words, only a devotee of the Lord can attract Krishna. Only by bhakti you can attract Krishna's attention. You can gain Krishna's attention. So we should strive to develop devotional service to Krishna, then strive to acquire mystic powers. Krishna has enough of these mystic powers, so he is not impressed. But Krishna does not have devotion, because that devotion is yours and mine, not Krishna's. Therefore, Krishna, if at all Krishna lacks, only one thing Krishna lacks: our love. That if we give, Krishna becomes purchased. So the devotee knows the secret. So we should work to develop our love for Krishna. That is the perfection of any religion. This is the test of religion as per Srimad Bhagavatam. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. The test of religion is whether you have awakened your complete love for Krishna. And when you awaken that, yayatma suprasidati, your soul becomes completely satisfied. This is the test of religion. I'll stop here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय.